I can honestly say, if I hadn't have found them pre-calving licks, I don't think, I mean, at one point my mum said we'll just keep 2 cows. There was 2 cows going to be kept. If we'd continued with that problem, I couldn't have managed. It got to that point, I just couldn't have managed. So I don't even know if I would have been farming today without Crystalyx Pre Calver, and that's a massive statement to make, but it is true. It's changed our lives completely. My name's Simone and I farm a little small herd of pedigree limousines, and we farm in a little village called Blackford, just in Cumbria. I started TikTok my first video was in 2022. I just started posting every day, probably middle of last year, to be honest.
Have you been keeping track of your follower count?
No, not really. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I haven't got like any set goals, but I think we're up to about 490 at the minute. We have got the family business here as well. Yeah, we do the Ike Williams trailers and we do plant hire as well, so we've got them both around the cows. I do mostly the trailer sales, so that's my full-time job. The cows are just a hobby on a night, but they keep me sane, to be fair, so I need them in my life. About 3 years ago we had an issue with the calves being born with knuckling over. So when we got the vet, there was 2 calves, maybe 3 actually. It was 3 calves born with knuckled over. We got the vet round and he suggested that the best thing to do would be physio as often as possible. Obviously I've got a small herd and I take that on the head and I do it as much as I can. So I got into my mind that I had to give these calves physio every other hour. So it was throughout the night, every other hour, and then through the day as often as I could between work. Obviously when you're working all day and up all night, that has a massive mental and physical strain, and it really did get to me, I'm not gonna lie. It got to the point where we decided that it was best to half the herd to a much more manageable number, which anyone that knows me knows my cows are my world. So that was a really difficult decision, but it was necessary at the time and it was something we just had to do. Not long after, I had a customer come in and I happened to mention the knuckling over, and he said, have you ever tried Crystalyx Pre Calver? Which obviously I'd never looked into it, I'd never heard of it. Obviously you're very skeptical at the time because it's just a lick, isn't it? It's nothing, you wouldn't think it's going to be a magical cure. We started using them 2.5 years ago and I've never had one calf born with knuckling over since. Not one. These calves, then there's 4 calves here that have been born, they were born end of October. They were up and sucking within 5 minutes of being born, and I've never known that before. The calves are bouncy, they're not lethargic, the cows are in good condition. It's made a massive difference.